This is it is very deep, rich flavor. Just the right fattiness, I think. And I'm loving the chicken that's in it. It's so tender.
Well pulled apart.
Yes, beautiful job.
In case it was done by hand.
Yeah, I mean there is a silkiness to it. I'll say,
And that's from the feet and bones, you know.
Yeah.
That's what comes in.
which I really appreciate. I really loved. There's a subtle flavor of pepper when you use whole peppercorns, and then when you use the dill, in the dill flavors the broth, you get it in there, but it's not overpowering the way if you kind of sprinkle a little bit of dry dill or cut a little bit up, and each bite is full of it. When the flavors aren't as pronounced, I just think it kind of creates that more general, rich chicken soup flavor.
It's a wholeness.
Take the words out of my mouth. That's great. Okay, let's talk about salt.
Salt.
So, what's your salt strategy now?
So I grew up in a house where everything was cooked without salt. And you salted your own food because my mom would do a lot of cooking for an elderly or one of our relatives who couldn't do salt.
I grew up in that kind of house too.
Yeah, it's hard, right? It's so important to salt in the beginning, and then to taste and to salt. But it's not a problem to have to add a little bit of salt to your soup at the table. But the myth that like kosher meat is salted. It does have salt in it, but it's not all the salt. You still need to salt.
What we have now is a flaky salt on the table, and I really prefer that over a table salt. Your typical really tiny crystals of table salt, because it's so easy to oversalt with table salt. I mean, you just put a sprinkle in, and all of a sudden you are just whacked with salt. Yeah. But with a flaky salt like this, like a Malden salt, the danger is less.
So the soup is wonderful. Getting Ashkenaz, it's wonderful. But you guys have spent all this time, deep diving into Ashkenaz and deep Jewish foods, but like, you're the Gefilteria, right? Like, what is the penultimate Jewish Ashkenaz food?
Well, I would say, listen, it all starts, for us at least, with gefilte fish. If we're being honest. And,
let's be honest.
But it's not necessarily that it's the ultimate Jewish food. I think that it was the ultimate example of what Jewish food can be when done poorly. And so gefilte fish in the jar is just the most uninspired thing in the world. I mean, it's like these balls of gray fish.
It inspires feelings. It inspires, but maybe not the way we want.
Fair. And so when we wanted to,
you can grab a box.
Well, we wanted to get started. So this is our gefilte fish.
Yes.
When we got started making Jewish foods, we started with the thing that needed the most attention, and we wanted to give gefilte fish a makeover. We wanted to use, first and foremost, better quality ingredients. Secondly, we wanted it to look appetizing.
Imagine.
Thirdly, we wanted it to be accessible to our friends, and our loved ones who didn't eat things like gluten. We also wanted to take out a lot of the fillers and some of the cheaper ingredients, especially that are used around the holidays. So we didn't want to have GMO oils. We didn't want to have filler matzo meal and things like that.
What kind of fish? Where are you even getting the fish?
That's the thing. We wanted to not have the carp is known as a bottom feeding fish. So it's heavy in heavy metals. So some people say you don't have carp, it's not traditional, you're not making a traditional.
No bathtub flavor.
No bathtub flavor. One of the things that is really interesting, and we learned this having traveled in Europe, is that the European carp is completely different than the Asian carp from the Great Lakes here. So there's a reason when you came to this country, gefilte fish was made by mixing a few different kinds of fish together. And that happened because they were looking for the flavor of what was missing in Europe. And when we made carp gefilte fish in Europe from these smaller lakes, it was a completely different feature. And it was actually a white and gefilte fish, not a gray gefilte fish, which the Asian carp is known for. So when we were thinking about what kind of fish we wanted to use, we really looked to the Monterey Bay Aquarium Sustainable Seafood Guide. We had sort of a real desire to make sure that we were giving the best possible product by sourcing the best quality fish we could.
Got it.
Yeah. So now, we've been selling gefilte fish with you, with Grow and Behold, for years, and it's a nice alignment of values.
For sure.
It's a really meaningful relationship in the sense that people who want quality meat also want quality fish. I mean, let's just be serious about that. And so we're excited for another Passover coming up, and we're excited to just to keep spreading the good word about how good gefilte fish can be when it's done right.
No, when it's done right, it's the perfect first course to your Seder.
I think so.
Your breakfast, or just your Friday night.